Hey, how you guys doing today? This is Larry Brown Jr. and I have my partner in crime with me, my wife, Miss Teresa Brown.
Hey y'all.
This is Slick Lingo podcast. Let's get straight to it. Listen, today we want to talk about you being the star of your life. You owning the narrative of your life. You are in control. You have the abilities, you have the capabilities. So that's what we want to talk about. And the reason why it's so important is because if you remember, I don't know if you've seen the podcast, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. When I asked you, no, when I said that your current position in life is not a representation of your potential, but it's a representation of your awareness. So our goal today is to make you aware. So listen, I have my wife with me today because my wife is an awesome woman and she overcame a lot of obstacles in life, but she decided and she made a choice to be the star of her own life. Some of you are following her right now on her weight loss journey, but it's deeper than that. So I'm gonna let her tell you her story. I'm gonna give you a brief kind of narrative about
Mhm.
how it all started out. My wife used to work in a place and it wasn't really cool, you know what I mean? Like it really wasn't a cool place to work and it was an issue and she didn't want to work there. And every day, I'm you know how it is. I'm listening to her tell her stories about she hate the place and she blah blah. She want to get out of there. She don't like this and like that. And finally, I got to a position in our conversation when I was just like, okay, so what you gonna do about it? So I got from being, you know, I'm listening to your problem, but I'm also solution oriented too. So what you gonna do about it?
And I was
So
complaining a lot.
yeah, so she was complaining. So I'm gonna let you tell the story. This is your story. So you go ahead and tell them what you did, how you did it, and even leading up to where you are now, how
Mhm.
you in a leadership role in law enforcement. She made her way from a long way, and a lot of you guys, if you're watching this, you know her. You know where she's came from.
Mhm.
You know, some of you may even still be where you were when she decided to make the right choices, because some of you are, and some of you are in worse a place than you were when she decided to make her choice. And this is not an indictment on you. So don't take this as I'm saying you're less than this, because what she did is duplicatable. You can duplicate it. So I'm gonna let you tell your story, honey. Go ahead and tell the people what you did and how you got it going and what everything you did.
Well, I used to work at like I said, I was working at a prison. I was a correctional officer. And we was working long hours, 16 hours every other day, 6 on, 3 off. But it was really 9 on, 3 off because I worked 16 hours every other day. And I used to come home to my husband complaining. I didn't know it was complaining. I was just like, thought I was voicing my opinion. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. So my job began to take over all the conversations. It was all about my job and how I hated going to my job because it was tiresome. I didn't know when I was going to get off, didn't know when I was going to be relieved. So it came to the point one day my husband was like, well, I hear you what you're saying. He said, but you gonna talk about it or you gonna do something about it. So if you're not gonna do nothing about it, I don't want to hear nothing else about it. So I could have got offended, but I didn't. It turned on a light bulb in my mind. So that's right. Let me do something about it. So in that instant, I decided to go to school. I went to school and I got my associate's degree while I was working those 16 hours every other day.
Right.
And then I went on to finish and I got my bachelor's degree because I wanted to be and further my career in law enforcement. And
Yeah.
so I did. So I.
But hold on 1 second. Not to cut you off, because it's a important part in there that you kind of not skip past, but I want to expound on.
Mhm.
When you got your associate's degree, what happened? You got a different job.
Right. When I got my associate's degree, I left the prison and I went to probation.
And the deal was they even blessed you with the job. They helped you because she was actively trying to do something different.
Right.
She actually took ownership of her experience. This is your life. You have to take ownership of it. I believe in God. We are, anyway, you guys know us, you know, we used to be pastors, you know the stuff about us. We definitely love the Lord. We have that, none of that has
Mhm.
changed. But I do believe that He has given us the ability
Mhm.
to create the lives that we want.
Yeah.
He has given us the ability. So what happened was I remember you writing those papers and it was hard.
It was rough.
It was rough. But then you took the initiative to start school, took the initiative to actually apply for a job. You remember you applied for that job, and
a lot of times.
And even though you applied for the job that you applied for, I did I can't remember, but
no, so this is what happened.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so when I got my associate's degree, you could have at least 2 years in the department or with an associate's degree and apply, and they can give you a waiver.
Right.
Or you had to have a bachelor's degree. And so I was applying for a probation officer job, but I didn't. Well, it was more people that was applying that had met all the qualifications. So why would they hire me if I didn't meet all the qualifications? I only had some. And so when I kept applying for probation and I didn't get it, that didn't mean that it was all over for me. So I talked to some people because I will ask questions and I will talk. So I found out you could be a surveillance officer. And so you get the same training when I was with that department. You get the same training, but it's a lesser pay. Right. And so in my mind, because going back to when I talked to my husband about complaining, and he was like, well, what are you going to do about it? So I had made up in my mind I want to be a probation officer. Right. So at that point, I was committed, and I actually saw myself as a probation officer while I was a correctional officer. And that's key.
Right.
Whatever you're trying to do, you have to see yourself as that. So no matter what obstacles I went through between where I was and me getting to my destination, I didn't let nothing hinder me because I already saw where I wanted to go. I already saw what I wanted to do.
So 2 things. The first thing is you took an alternate route to get to the destination that you had in mind. Right. This is important. If you ever heard me, I taught this one time about changing your planned route but not the ultimate destination. So we live in Atlanta, so there's a lot of time it's traffic everywhere, right? And so sometimes you may want to go to the airport, but your planned route was take 75 down to 85, etc. But it was a crash, so you can't go that route. You have to change your route. But that's where the commitment portion of it came in. You were committed enough to say, okay, delay is not denial. Failure is only feedback. I'm going to get where I'm going to get. So she changed her route. So that's a beautiful testimony right there. That's a beautiful a point for you, that if you're listening to this and you may have tried some things and it didn't work the way you wanted it to work, and you went this one route and guess what? They wasn't letting any more people in school. Change your route, but not your destination. Change it. Say, okay, well, I intended on getting in this way, but guess what? I can't get in that way. I'm going to have to get in that way. But you're going to have to clearly define your destination first. So you already had your destination defined, so you know that. And 2, you had to take a lower position to get to where you wanted to be. Right. So you changed your plan route, but you said, okay, I changed that, but you know what? I'm willing to take a lower position. I'm willing to be the least on the totem pole in order to get where I wanted to, where I want to be. So go ahead.
And then even going back to that, while I was going to school, because I went to an online school, and at the time when I started going to online school, it was a joke of all jokes. So I was working at the prison, and I know they were saying it behind my back, but some of them said, well, I can hear, but I didn't care. You going to school online? What kind of school degree you gonna get online and all this and ha on that? Right. But I knew that my degree I was going to a good school, a stand-up school. Right. And so I knew what my destination was. So I said that to say this. Along your process, it's going to be people who going to talk about you, who going to laugh about you, but those same people that was laughing at me and was talking about me, they still in the same position they were in. Not saying that they may not want to change, and that's okay. But in my mind, everything is different for everybody. So I wanted to change. Some people are complacent wherever they are. And not even just complacent. Like my husband always say, we have to have plumbers just like we have to have lawyers. We have to have people who pick up the trash just like we have to have doctors.
That's what make the world go round.
Right. So everybody play their part. Right. So the people who are still where they are when I was there, maybe that's where they want to be at. And To God be the glory.
Yeah.
But in my mind, so we have to make our own decisions and our own processes. So in my mind, I had to go.
And the discouragement, that's what happens. I spoke about it last night in the video that I posted last night about not being confident in your competency, being confident in the dream, being confident in the goal, being focused, because people will try to cut you down.
Yeah, they will.
And I tell you, if I had listened to people, I would not be sitting on this camera today. If she had listened to people. So that's another point. You've changed your route, and it may not be the perfect route. You know, you may have to go do something and do a job that no one wants to do to get where you want to be, right? But another thing is you have to put your blinders on. You know why they put blinders on horses? So they can't focus on the other horses, because it'll throw them off, because they are herd animals. They're herd animals, and that's what we are. We're social creatures. So you have to put your blinders on, and you have to be laser-like intense, focused on where you're trying to get, regardless of the setbacks that you've had in life, regardless of the things that it don't matter. For me, I've learned, it don't really matter where you're coming from. It doesn't. It all matters about your determination and your focus and your willingness to do what no one else would do and outwork everybody. So go ahead and come. I don't want to take over. Go ahead and finish telling.
And I'm a firm believer that all things work together, because I took a job not as a probation officer, but it was a lesser, but I was doing almost the same thing.
Right.
But in all of that, I was still learning.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it like this. You may not be where you want to be, but you learn wherever you are. And that's what I did. I learned all that I could learn. So when it became time for me to be that probation officer, I already knew.
Right.
So you have to, I'm an optimistic person. I always look at the cup half full. I never see it half empty. It's always something. It's always light in darkness somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I pressed on, because I chose to be the star of my life. I didn't allow, because I was interviewing for a probation officer, and I asked questions. So I encourage you to ask questions. When you go on interviews, ask questions. If they didn't choose you, why they didn't choose you? What can you do the next time to get the job? How did you answer the questions? Could you have answered it a different way? Or whatever it is that you was lacking that prevented you from getting that job, ask, and that helps.
Right.
And that's what I did. So I went to a lot of interviews, and I didn't get it. So I decided to call and ask, like, how is it? Why didn't I get it? Or how are my chances with me having an associate's degree, not a bachelor's yet, but I'm working on it. I've been with the department over 2 years. So why didn't I get chosen? And that's what I was told, because why would we hire you when you meet the minimum requirements, when we have so many people who meet the requirements, the required requirements. And so what that did, that didn't change the destination. It just changed my route. So I went another route, and I went that route, and now I'm in management in my department.
Right.
And so all that is because,
well, not even just in management, because you skip again. Because even within this story, it's small individual stories where I don't want to tell it all, but where you've had when they put you over the little special project downtown, they put you over that, and how you went up again and didn't get that, but did not accept. Because I remember you saying, you know what, I ain't gonna go up no more. I'm because they gonna keep telling me, and this to be further like where she's at now. She has people under her now. She has authority now. But this went from someone who started out with a desire. They committed themselves, but was willing to be the runt, the grit, to do the grimy work, and deal with all kinds of situations and circumstances, and clawed your way up to where you are now, but never allowed no to deter you. And that's another thing.
I got discouraged at one point.
Right.
And I did say, well, I'm not going to do that no more. That ain't for me.
Right.
Then he kept talking to me.
You
I prayed
have
about
to.
it, and the Lord spoke to me.
I'm going to tell you what happened with me. I was working at this company one time, and I was working there, and I was the grunt. I was the utility guy. I was the guy that did all of the utility work. You remember when we used to work over there, and you used to have to come get me in the evening time when I used to be all wet. So I was a grunt. I was a runt, right? I did all the grimy work. And what happened was I would sit back and watch. I seen a forklift. So I didn't have traditional education, but I'm one of those people that learn through osmosis. Like I'm around something and I can learn it. Like I don't feel like it's anything I can't learn. I just need to be around it and exposed to it. So I'm sitting there And I realized that the guys who drove forklift made more money than me. Now, I was working a temp job. So I knew this job was eventually going to come to an end, but I wanted to leave that job better than I came. So what I decided I was going to do is when everybody was taking their lunch, I decided to teach myself how to drive a forklift. And you remember me telling you I drove I didn't even know how to start the forklift. The maintenance man had to help me start it, but he respected what I was trying to do. I eventually got my forklift license, and that's when they broke in our house, but that's another story. But that being said, I don't want to take over this, but I owned my life. You have to own it. Stop acting like stuff just falling out the sky happening to you. We do know sickness come. We do know tragedy come. But the bulk of the time, it's not like that. It's not like that. You have a right now, while you watching this, to say, I want to change where I am in life. I want to change my next year. When I first started these videos this year, what I say? We're going to make 2019 proud. The you of 2019, if you did and you're doing what you should do right now, next year at this exact same time, you're going to be telling yourself, girl, man, you did great. So even right now, you remember writing all those papers, right? I remember you writing those papers. I remember you up on the computer, and I'm like, you always on the computer. And I remember you doing all that.
After he done told me to go to school.
But I remember you doing all that, right? And now I can see where you are today. Now, listen, just because you reach your destination does not mean you stop. And that's something called destination disease. Let me tell you what that is. Destination disease is when a person feel like they have arrived. So they're not trying to grow anymore. When truly life is about the journey and not about the destination. Because our only destination is where? A casket in the ground, dirt, cremation, whatever. That's our only destination. So life is about the destination. So that being said, once you reach this goal, there must be another goal. If not, you're effectively suffering from what is called destination disease. People get it and they feel like they have arrived. Stop learning. You should be a lifelong learner. Don't want to learn anymore. I got my job. My cousin post on her page my government job, like would it be? I got my job. She's just being funny, but I got my job. I got my house. I got my car, and I'm no longer trying to excel. I'm no longer trying to push myself towards anything greater than where I am. I have made it. I have arrived. Now, what happens when you do that? You become irrelevant. You become antiquated. You look up and you the old person on the job trying to hold on to your job. You know what I'm talking about. The one person don't want to retire. Don't have a life. Because you have effectively said, I've reached where I'm at and I'm good. So that's another portion of it. You got to get on to phase 2, phase 3. Because at the end of the day, even if you're in a great position right now, and even if you don't know, you know what, I know I have a desire to do more, even if you don't and you can't say exactly what it is right now, right? You must continue to try different things. You must continue to push yourself. I'm listening to the book T.D. Jake wrote. I'm doing an audio book of it. Soar. He's talking about soaring. And he was talking about in this previous chapter that I listened to on the way home today about when he left his church, when he packed up and moved his church out of Virginia, West Virginia, and moved to Dallas. He said he had 1,000 members. He said his church was doing great. And everybody looked at him like he was crazy. But he said when he, gave up on growing, that's anything not growing is what? Dying. So when you stop growing, you start dying. So being the star of your life, even right now, I ain't gonna tell it all, but when you went up for that position, not the position you work in, but the other position, your elected position. She's an elected position now, y'all. I'm gonna let her tell her business. I ain't gonna tell it all, but she was elected to a position. And I remember her saying, she came home and said, I really want to go up for this. And I don't know because the people don't know me. And, just you always can find excuse. And I remember you saying that. And I said, I don't know what I said, but I was like, yeah, forget them folks. They don't know you. You know what I mean? Like, forget them folks. Go on up. And you won.
I won.
And you won.
They voted for me.
They voted for you. Yeah. So that's important right there.
I was my own enemy.
Yep. in
So
her own
with
way.
saying that, nobody can deter you. You deter your own self. You could you could be sitting in a room with thousands of people and they all against you. But what
Right.
matters is what you believe.
What you
You
believe.
have to be the star of your life. Nobody can. Don't wait on somebody to make the first move for you. Don't wait on nobody. You be the star of your own life. Like now, I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost 57 pounds, and I ain't.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
And I'm pushing because I got goals.
She losing weight.
And because I can see myself there.
Right.
So, but I had to have a made up mind. I kept going to the doctor. They said I was pre-diabetic, and I was
Right.
like, "No, my dad died of diabetes. I will not die of diabetes. I'm gonna die for something, but it won't be for my health."
Right.
So I've been working out, and it's a process. I've been eating right. My trainer right here, he's a good trainer, y'all.
Yeah.
And we go to the gym. We going when we get done with this. We going to the gym.
Yeah. And I'm really, and my thing about me, I'm really at times I'm a butthole now.
Right? Yeah.
I
a
am.
lot of times.
At times I am a butthole. I push people, guys who work for me, guys who I'm not gonna say I'm the nicest person all the time. I'm not gonna say that. I try to be friendly, but I'm goal driven. And I can see where, like, hold on, So we're gonna go up here and we're gonna get on these treadmills today and we're gonna run because we want to live better. We want to live healthier, So yeah, we're gonna go to the gym now. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to make sure I clarified that the reason why, because when you must get around people like me that will stretch you. Now I ain't that for everybody, because I don't get a return on my investment for everybody. So I don't waste my time with people. Okay? So for you have to get around people that will stretch you. You will never reach your destination in a place of complacency.
Right, you have to be around people who gonna tell you stuff that you don't want to hear, but
Stretch
you
you.
need to hear.
They're going to stretch you. They're going to tell you you've been saying that for the last year. You ain't going to do nothing.
Yeah, that's what you tell me.
Yeah, you just talking that same old talk you've been talking. I don't want to hear that. Like, and it hurts. It hurts, but the truth of the matter is they're telling you the truth. And I'm sorry, this gonna sound really cruel, but I'm telling you that, like, I'm gonna say this, man. Forget your feelings. Do you want to be sick and die? You didn't, right?
No.
So your feelings don't matter.
Hurt my feelings.
Do you want to be successful? Do you want to make money? You want to have a nice house or whatever your form of success is? Do you want to be that? So then I don't have time, or no one, anybody who's going to try to push you, don't have time to cater to your emotions. They trying to tell you, look, you're tripping. Stop. That's why people who make a lot of money, and, they say a lot of these celebrities that make a lot of money, some of them that, like Michael Jackson, they say he surrounded himself with yes men. He don't want nobody around him like, bro, you tripping. Like, no. I'm not going to be part of that. I'm gone.
Nobody want to hear they tripping. Nobody want to hear that they ain't doing right, but we need to hear it because there's nobody perfect.
And for our people that may not know what tripping means, that's a form of slang in America, in the African American community, when you're not just thinking straight. Okay, yeah. But anyway, me and my wife are trying our best to add value to whoever will allow us to do that to them, right? So right now, that's what we're doing. We're pouring ourselves out, hoping that we hit our mark with you. So I want to connect with you. I want to add value to you. I can't come to wherever you are, but I can sit here and try my best to expose a lot of me. For those who know me, a lot of you guys know me, who watch my video, and some of you don't. You just like me, but you don't know me. Been through a lot. Everything I'm pushing her or anybody who around me to do, I've done it myself. It's a lot of things, to be truthfully honest, with me that I cannot even do. But that I want to see you do it. I want to see you do it. I tell my sons, daughters, anybody that'll listen to me, I want to push you to be your best you. So I want you to do this. And we're getting ready to wrap it up. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what have I been putting off? Is it losing weight? In order to stop getting the results you're getting now, you must stop doing what it took to get there. So if you 350, in order for you to not be 350 anymore, you got to stop doing what it took to become 350. So Sit down and write. Don't tell yourself, well, I got big bones. That's a lie. My bones are big, you know? Or my whole family like this. Or if let's say you got a record. This is my favorite topic right here. Someone told me that they got a record and they can't find a job. Yes, you can. But if you believe that about yourself, then guess what? You're not going to go look for a job.
It's all according to what you believe. You be the star of your
Your
life.
life.
You be the star.
That's it.
Not your circumstances, not situations, not financial situations, nothing. Past, nothing somebody said. Okay, you could have came up in a family where they all talked about you. They didn't teach you how to love. They didn't show you how to love. You be the star of your life. So if you know the best way I've learned in my career, the right way to do stuff is seeing people doing it the wrong way. And so if you know what you was without, then you know what you need.
Right.
You know that if I was raised a certain way and I know that I was missing some stuff, of course I wouldn't raise my children that way. I would raise them the way I know that I was missing. I would make sure that I give that to them.
Right.
So you have to use that in your life. So whatever, you just use that, and you got to be the star of your life. Stop using excuses. Stop using this, because that's what they are. Okay, so you've been molested. Okay, me too. You've been raped. Okay, me too. You've been talked about. Me too. You've been dogged out. Okay, right. Me too. So what? You be the star. You be the star of your life. You choose the day to say, okay, whatever. That's not saying that you didn't hurt going through the process. That's not saying that it didn't make a huge impact on your life. But you can't use that. Life is 1% of what happened to you and 99% of what you do with it. Okay, that happened, but what are you going to do with it?
Point blank, period. You got a choice right now to make. I'm going to stay where I've been and get the same results that I've always gotten, or I'm going to do something different to get a new experience, new results. These are the two choices you have. The excuses are, save them. Like they're a waste of time. Save them. We watched this show called My 600-Pound Life. And I never really watched the show, but
I watch it.
I watch her watching the show. And what got me the most about that show was how a person can get to a place of, I can't do this, all I can do. And I mean, that's just got me about the show. Like, people get to that place. Now, you may not be 600 pounds, but you may be doing the same thing with your job. You may feel like, this is all I can do. You may be in a relationship and that relationship not good, whatever, right? And it's not a healthy relationship, whether it's a intimate relationship or just a friendship, because you have some unhealthy friendships. And you feel like, well, this is all I can do.
Or you could be in a company, a good company. You could have a good job, but there's a change that need to be made, and you have the idea. You have the thing that can change it, but you don't want to say nothing.
Right, because you don't have the confidence to speak up.
Right.
You don't have the confidence. So listen, tonight's video was all about you being a star, you being a celebrity. And it's so important because we all have our little celebrity people we like. We admire them. We watch them. They come out with a new car. We know about their cars. We know, you see a female celebrity, she may have a hairdo. Next thing you know, I remember when Beyonce was shaved, she shave her head? Then all the women ran out and shaved their heads, right? So she is the celebrity that you're following. But how about if you make yourself your own celebrity?
Right.
And you say, I'm going to be the star. I'm going to be the trendsetter in my life. I'm going to be the trailblazer in my life. I'm going to charter new territory. I'm going to be the one that's going to be celebrated. You got to wake up today. Wake up tomorrow and do that.
And the awesomeness about that is not just for you, because other people are watching you. And it's not selfish for you to be the star of your life. I'm going to tell you why. Because if I'm not the star of my life, then I can't be up the par for my husband or for my kids.
Right.
Out in my line of work where I work at, and I talk to these people, and they say, well, they do this, but I love my family. If you love your family and you want to be there for your family, for your children, you will make sure that you're right.
Right.
Because if you're not right, how they gonna be right?
Point blank. You can't add value to anybody
right. If
else.
he lacking on his job, how you gonna make sure that I'm straight? I need him to be at his best. He need to be the star of his life.
Right.
I need to be the star of my life so that we can work together.
You can't add value to anybody else if you beat down and broke down yourself. Listen, we appreciate you guys for watching. I really do. I'm telling you, I really do. Be on the lookout for the videos. We're going to be submitting videos The podcast is on SoundCloud. It is on YouTube. It is on iTunes, and it is on Google Play. So we're getting it out there, and we're trying to get as much exposed as we possibly can. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, because I know you didn't have to, and I pray and hope that it adds some type of value to your life that you can use just a kernel. I don't care if everything in this thing was junk but one part. Use that one part for your life, and then my mission is accomplished. Her mission is accomplished. Right. We thank you for watching. We appreciate you. This is Slick Lingo Podcast. God bless you.
Be the star of your life.